the Late Late Show. I'm your host, TV's Craig Ferguson. Please sit down, relax, pace yourself. You at home, take your pants off, undo your corset. You're not going anywhere now. It's too late. Come on. Sit back, relax. Set the lazy boy to sexy. That's right. It is a great day for America today, I'll tell you. In fact, it's a great day for the whole world today. Because just in the past few days, Madonna started another feud with the Catholic Church. Boy George was arrested for drugs again. Michael Jackson announced he's making another charity recording, and Sylvester Stallone agreed to star in yet another Rocky movie. The 80s are back! The 80s are back! 80s? It's 1984 again. What's happening? Actually, the early 80s were a great time, and not just because Paris Hilton wasn't born yet. I say that because Lindsay Lohan wasn't born yet either. No, I don't. You could actually drive through Beverly Hills in the early 80s without being hit by Lindsay Lohan's convertible. Those were simpler times. Simpler times. The 80s were great for a lot of reasons. I love the 80s. And I say that as someone whose memory of that decade is patchy. A little patchy. I don't want to get into all that again. Let's just say that I usually made it to class during the 80s, but I probably won't be getting credit for the course. It's a little... Oh, yeah, that's right. Woohoo! I was a hopeless blackout drunk. Yeah. Woohoo! We're number one. I tell you, the parts that I do remember of the 80s, though, were fantastic. VH1, really, you know, they do those shows about it. They should create a new show for people like me, and they should call it I Love What I Remember About the 80s. Because I actually did that. I did that VH1 show, that I Love the 80s show. I did that show. And before, they said, will you come and do the show, or I Love the 80s show? And I thought, yes, I'll do it, because, you know, I'm old enough. And then the night before, I thought, wait a minute, I can't remember anything about the damn 80s. So I had to take a quick refresher course at the Learning Annex. You know, do you know, it's amazing what happened. I didn't know what was going on in the 80s. Ronald Reagan used to be the president of the United States. Isn't that amazing? Who knew? Music was great during the 80s, so I loved the music in the 80s. If you're too young to remember, I think probably one or two are, but back then in the day, in the 80s, music was different. It was made... That was a very simple time. Music was made using quaint, old-fashioned devices known as instruments. And these people were... the people that operated these instruments were known as musicians. That's it. You know, that makes me officially middle-aged now, isn't it, when I start complaining about that? I'm like, you know what? I know I'm turning into a geezer. Because, like, the other day, I'm driving my car, I caught myself doing this. Isn't that geezer, no? Isn't that? Yeah, I suck in my teeth. Sucking my teeth, man. At least I don't suck on someone else's teeth. That's... I was a younger man, I used to do that. You know, next I'll be calling my pants trousers, and... Well, I do that. I'm European. I call my pants trousers. I wear Speedos at the beach. It's the law. It's the law. I'm European. I have to. Anyway, the 80s was fantastic. The 80s was fantastic. Back in the 80s, you remember that song with that guy, I wear my sunglasses at night? Remember that? What was he doing? I wear my sunglasses at night. I can't see a damn thing. Where's my stuff? Who was that guy? I can't remember his name. Well, yeah, that was the way it was. You know... My favourite memory of the 80s, when I was working back then, I used to be a doorman, a bouncer, at a club in the Lower East Side of New York. Very, very trendy club. It was called Save the Robots. That was the name of the club. It was very trendy. No, you laugh, or you don't. But it was, no, don't patronise me. You either laugh or you don't. I don't need your charity, you bastard. But the club was called... The club was called Save the Robots, and we wouldn't let anybody in. That was the policy at the door. The first couple of weeks, just don't let anybody in. Now, I'm talking anybody. You know, people, you know, who want to pay to get... No, I'm sorry, you can't get in. That is the secret of having a successful nightclub in New York or LA. If you can get past the financially difficult time of not letting anyone in at all, and then word gets around, oh, no, you can't get in there, everybody turns up. And to LA, it's like that. There's no way you can get in. There's a line around the block. People phoning their publicists, Jack Nicholson banging on the door. It's true. Fashion, to me, in the 80s made a lot more sense. You know? The women had bigger hair. I like a woman with big hair. Easy to spot. What the hell I'm talking about? No, the women had bigger hair, smaller breasts, because they were real, and the shoulder pads, everything, all the stuff that's now here was up there in the 80s. It's all walking around up there. Men had big hair too, easy to spot. Skinny ties, used to wear tiny little skinny ties with piano keys on them. That wasn't so good. And if you wanted to be really fashionable, you just pushed up the sleeves of your disco jacket, like that. Remember, stand-up comedians used to do that, roll up their sleeves and go, hey, what's the deal with airlines? Wouldn't they do that in the 80s all the time? That's all you needed to do. That's all you needed to do in the 80s to be fashionable. And in the 80s, I had a pair of nylon parachute pants and a Thompson Twins hat. I looked like if Alibaba was a postman. That's what I looked like. It was like... It was an odd time. Fashion then, it was simple, it was easy. Alibaba, deliver the mail, it was easy. It's different these days. It's more important these days to guys, I think, fashion. Now, you might even say it's become fashionable. That's where we've got this new concept now, the metrosexual. Yeah, that's the metrosexual. Metrosexual, if you don't know, is totally a straight man, totally heterosexual, who's had his colours done, he knows how to put together an outfit, doesn't mind having some manscaping. You know, a little bit of that. That's a metrosexual man. He does those things. He likes having manicures and pedicures and facials, and he's not had sex with another man. Not yet. I'm kidding. About the last part, I'm kidding. Lots of metrosexuals have had sex with other men. Do you know the guy, the advertising guru? They always call them advertising gurus. I wonder if they wear turbans and sit and, you know... Oh, I'm a great advertising guru. Ask me anything. Oh, these pants. No, they don't work with that bag. Anyway, the advertising guru who came up with the term metrosexual, he says now that the metrosexuals, their days are numbered. It's over for metrosexuals. Because most guys are tired of it. We don't want it. You know, we don't want to be told how to behave by fashion magazines and shows like Queer Eye. We're done. It's over. You know, men want to be real men again. Because men have figured out, we figured this out, it's very tough to get a girlfriend if you address every woman you meet as girlfriend. You know what I mean? Because they go, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Women move on. They move on. True. No, this advertising guru, what he says is that what women really want now are guys he calls ubersexuals. Ubersexuals. That's a new one. It's true, this. I'm not making this up. I'm not. It's ubersexuals. An ubersexual is a man who embraces the positive aspects of masculinity without giving in to negative male stereotypes like insensitivity, emotional unavailability, that kind of thing. That's it. Metrosexuals don't have that kind of emotional baggage. They usually have their own baggage, though, matching luggage. Ubersexuals are passionate about clothes, they're passionate about social causes, but they're not passionate about clothes. That's metrosexuals. I don't know what the hell I'm talking... I am so high. Ubersexuals don't care about clothes. I'm an ubersexual. I don't care about clothes. No, we care about social causes like poverty. Ubersexuals groom their minds, you see. They don't groom their hair, they groom their minds. Ubersexuals, this is what this guy says. Ubersexuals are attractive, physically fit, confident, stylish, dynamic and compelling. In other words, they are German. That's what is the new thing to be, German. Right, that's enough. That's enough about masculinity. I don't want to go into all that. Next I'll be talking about my issues. And I promised myself I wouldn't cry tonight. So and it's not like the 80s was all good. It wasn't all good. Back then we had We had some terrible things going on. We had record budget deficits. We had soaring gasoline prices. We had a president named Bush in the White House who was trying to start World War III. It was a very, very bad time. I'm glad that's not back.